original YMCA building, built in 1906 by the architect was Albert Lee. He also designed the old 1892 City Hall that's now the museum. Building originally had offices and gymnasium on the first floor, and the upper floors had apartments. But in 1942, the YMCA moved out, and the Order of Odd Fellows purchased the building and occupied it to the late 70s. Now it's apartments, and it's still a pretty good old brick building with a lot of chucking that sandstone to it, and pretty cool, and it's a great addition to downtown and here on Holly Street. And the Exchange Building, built in 1908 on North State Street in downtown Bam. It was originally designed with the intent to give businesses a central location in the city of Bam. Building owners were Samuel and Joseph Alspole, and began their wealth as butchers and went on to make a fortune in the salmon trapping. In 1923, the building was repurposed as the Hotel Henry. In 1942, the YMCA moved into the building. In 1968, they modernized it and covered this beautiful brick building for it. Because, I don't know. It should be a crime. People should go to jail for covering a brick building, but I'll just shut my mouth right now. Okay. Now let's get back. In 1992, they finally removed the mesh, and you can see the brick beauty back again. Thank you. Don't ever cover up mesh. Never cover up the brick with mesh and other stuff. Why? Okay. But it's been the YMCA ever since, but there's always been talk in the last several years of the YMCA moving over on to Lakeway. We'll see how that goes, but whatever happens, I hope this building stays, because it's a wonderful brick building downtown, and please don't ever cover up the bricks again. Well, the building next to Exchange Building, right here, that brick one right there, I don't really have much information on it, but I always thought it was a cool little building, and that's about what I got, and that's it. The Bam National Bank building, built in 1912. The 5-story Chicago-style building is on the corner of Cornwall and Holly Street in downtown. Up until the Bam Hill building was finished in 1926, the Bam National Bank building was the most prestigious business address in Bam. It's a great addition to downtown Bam, a wonderful building to have down here. The Colson Apartments, built in 1919. The 3-story apartment complex was originally named the Hall after John G. Hall, who made a living in real estate. He did well for himself in the housing market after World War I, building and selling a fair number of bungalows along High Street. In June 1923, the hall was renamed to the Colchian, which is believed to be the native name for Mount Baker. I always liked this building. I always wanted like an apartment in this one. In the back, overlooking Bellingham Bay. It's always good. Laurel Park on Billy Frank Jr. Street. Originally the site of Seaholm Grade School, built in 1890. Before that, the school was operated out of Moore's Hardware store on Elk Street, which is now State Street. Into P.B. Cornwall, president of the Bellingham Bay Improvement Company, donated land on High Street for the new school. Several students were injured the first year of the school opened when workers clearing and grading the street outside of the school exploded sandstone rocks, blasting them through the windows of a second grade classroom. School was used until 1941 and stood on the site until 1958. The City Park Board acquired the 2-acre parcel in 1967 and Laurel Park was developed in 1998. Mostly, I call this the college kid park because it's close to the college and a lot of college kids hang out here on the sunny days and enjoy the sunshine and stuff. It's a great little neighborhood park with some great features and plants, and you should come check it out one day. The Morgan House. Built in 1890, the 3-story Queen Anne style house was built for banker J.W. Morgan and originally featured an open tower on the 3rd floor turret with the bell-shaped cap. Morgan was the manager of a local bank, and the bank failed in 1893 after the collapse of the New York Stock Exchange. Morgan sold the house in 1898 to Lewis and Mary White, who had 8 children in their large house. It became a college men's residence in 1957 and was converted into apartments in 1959, and it still is apartments. The First Presbyterian Church, built in 1889. More popularly known as the Karate Church, the Academy of Self-Defense. It served as the Presbyterian Church until 1909 when the First Presbyterian Church moved down to North Garden Street. Later, in 1911, it became the Faith Lutheran Church, and then way later it became a martial arts school, and since then it's been known as Karate Church. And nowadays it's used more as a left-wing hippie kind of place. Has a lot of political and other activities go on there. And you can see they have free plants outside front if you ever need a plant. And it's a very well-known place in Bellingham. Garden Street Methodist Church. Originally it was Trinity Methodist Church. It laid its cornerstone in October 1910. It finished construction in June 1912, and then Trinity and First Methodist Church united to become Garden Street Methodist Church in 1917. 2 homes was bought and cleared, and the educational wing was constructed in 1970. The congregation moved out in November 2021, and now it sits empty. I hope it has something done with it. It's a really cool building. St. Luke's Foundation was founded in 1892. Portions of the building were built in 1895. Peace House eventually took over it in 1989, and eventually it closed down. It is up for sale at the moment, and we'll see what happens with it in the future. Well, these apartments here right behind the Methodist Church on Garden Street, actually on Magnolia Street right here. I always thought they had character and stuff, but I really don't know the history of this thing, but it's been around for a long time, since ever I can remember. I always thought it was a little cool little apartment complex, and there you go. If you do know, please put the information in the comments. I want to know more about Bellingham. And with these apartments right here on Billy Frank Jr., it used to be Indian Street, but now it's Billy Frank Jr. and Ollie Street. I always thought these was pretty cool, this cross from the week too. But I don't really know anything about these apartments, so please let me know in the comments if you do. The rest of these buildings are just gonna be buildings around by him that I saw pretty cool, like this house right here, and but I really don't have any information on these. These ones are all on State Street and kind of up on a hill looking over State Street, where it used to be Elk Street, but I don't really have too much information about these. But that one right there, that's a pretty cool looking Victorian kind of house. So if you have any information, please leave it in the comments. And yeah, the rest of this video is just going to be different buildings I thought were cool and stuff. And I hope you enjoy. Yeah, this building here, this is downtown, and I think it's a pretty cool brick building. Not the coolest one, but still a pretty cool brick building. I'm not too sure if it's about to be torn down or not, because the planning department received a permit to do the building next to it, but it also included this address, so I hope this building stays, but we'll see in the future. But I don't really know the history of this building at all. But if you do, please let me know, because I'd like to know. Well, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll leave you with this house that's over here in Fairhaven, just on the other side of the bridge when you're heading down to Chuckanut. or Edgemore neighborhood, I guess. But still a really, really cool old Victorian style house and everything. I don't really know the history of the house, but it's a cool little house. Love these turrets, man. Why don't they build turrets in houses there more? But whatever. So if you liked what you saw today, please hit the like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Next time I post a video, and